Hello, Chico. My name's Jared Shibuya, and this week we have a lot of jazz, a lot of heroin, a little bit of romance for you too in the biopic of Chet Baker's life, played by Ethan Hawke in Born to Be Blue.
We're proud to present all the way from the sunny shores of California, the James Dean of Jazz, the Prince of Cool. And he's here playing a double bill with our very own Miles Davis and Dizzy Gillespie. Making his Birdland debut, Chet Baker and his quartet.
For those who don't know, Chet Baker is a legendary jazz trumpet player and singer known for songs like My Funny Valentine. This movie is a fictionalized biopic of his life, which I do have a problem with from the get-go. I feel like if you're going to do a biopic, why not make it historically accurate? I feel like it's a disservice, number one, to Chet Baker, and number two, to the audience who may want to learn more about his life and can't do so when they're being fed alternative facts. I understand that this is a movie and that it needs to make money, but I feel like the filmmakers are hedging against criticism by making it a fictionalized biopic.
You forget what you always Chet? No more jazz, junkie.
The movie mainly jumps back and forth through many events through Chet's life, but it mainly focuses on the period when he gets his teeth knocked out during a drug dispute and is subsequently disabled from playing trumpet, which really cripples him and his livelihood. Ethan Hawke does an awesome job of depicting a vulnerable Baker who becomes a shell of himself without music and heroin, which are really, unfortunately, mutually inclusive forces in his life. Half the movie is occupied by a love story, which really falls flat on its face because it doesn't accurately depict Chet's sentiments towards women at the time. He was a known philanderer and a known womanizer, violent womanizer. Even though Ethan Hawke does a good job of depicting his charm and his charisma, it fails to acknowledge that he did use those redeeming qualities that he had to take advantage of those that he knew would support his heroin addiction. Instead of having about 50% of the movie occupied by a romantic interest, I would have much preferred to see the movie elaborate on the relationship between Chet Baker and Miles Davis and the contentious kind of battle that went on between the two during both of their careers.
Miles said come back once you lived a little. I lived a little.
At the time, Miles represented a more experimental, technical version of bebop at the time. He was able to really stretch the tonality out of his singular notes, like in Kinda Blue, and he was much more experimental in his albums such as Bitches Brew, while Chet represented a much more polarized style where he was much more minimalistic and emotive and simple in his style of playing. And I think this clash of styles in jazz culture would have made a much more interesting storyline than the one that we're offered.
I want to play. All I want to do is play.
I want my life back.
Biopics are all about the leading actor and actress, and Ethan Hawke kills it as Chet Baker. He has an absolutely brilliant performance, but it's just not enough to get this movie over the hill. I just couldn't get over the historical inaccuracies. I wish Chet Baker had more warts in this movie, and I couldn't get over the dominant romance plot that's in this movie. I really wish I could have recommended this film to you guys this week, but I just can't get over those big flaws. So, especially for the asking price of $15 on iTunes, I couldn't do that to you all. So that's it for this week. Stay tuned for more. Be cool, Chico.